Chapter 19. Goodbye, illusion. Hello, universe. We'd reached the last part of the meditation story and the hopeful beginning of the human's journey into yoga. At the end of today's conversation, we would say goodbye to Corey, for he was not ours to keep right now. A time would come for that, but for now he would have to return to his world and fulfill his purpose. He was only now starting to discover that his purpose was much bigger than capturing evil and more in line with transforming evil. He was beginning to understand that it was not the killing or jailing of evil, or the quarantining of humans that would change this world. True lasting change is only possible when humans learn to live above their nature, to control desires, and to unattach from the material world. It is here that they would find joy and peace in their lives, as every word, action, and behavior that rose from them would arrive from a place of love and not fear. The connection to the soul within would allow for the connection to all living beings, even those outside of their species, to live a life where they were never ever alone or where they never felt unloved. Hello, Corey. I'd chosen to meet him for our last conversation because I knew this would be hard for him. Hello, beautiful. I knew you would come today. Is it really the last conversation we shall have? I guess that depends on you. There are more ways for us to communicate than this. I landed on his shoulder to enjoy our last physical contact. I would miss his presence, but not in the way of suffering. Also, now would probably be a good moment for you to engage in non-attachment. Corey turned to look at me and smiled. You know, I've been contemplating a lot recently, and I've begun to wonder if maybe my purpose lies not in the law, but in jiu-jitsu. Did you know jiu-jitsu originated from Buddhist monks in India who used energy rather than weapons of violence to defend themselves? They, like yogis, understood the relationship between force and its influence over matter. Jiu-jitsu raises the Kundalini Shakti, the power that lives within each of us. Ah, my human Corey. It is wonderful that you are beginning to move outside of your boxes and explore all that is open to you in this life. I am deeply pleased that by taking this journey, you will discover your soul's purpose in this life. Now, I want to say this to you before we enter the cove. He stopped and I perched on the rock in front of him. Although this moment will transform into a new beginning for you, I will always be here for you when you need me. Just sit in silence and move into your meditation. It is here that you will hear me and feel me. I am a genius, really. I have opened a love for me so deep that you will have no choice but to meditate to see me again. Corey burst out laughing and did not stop for minutes. His body shook, his energy danced, and for a moment I felt as if consciousness was showing itself. It was magnificent. You actually are a genius, Eagle. He then stopped and turned toward me. I could see the edges of his eyes glistening as tears began to escape from their jailer. Thank you, Eagle. Thank you for everything, for the light, the love, and for all the knowledge. If I do not move to a place of peace and bliss, then only I am to blame. You have given me all the tools, and now I am responsible for the path my life takes. If I continue to live a life devoid of pure love, then it will be because I chose fear and stopped loving myself. You have shown me what love is, and for that I will forever be grateful to you. And when you die, if you could transform back into a human and show up in my life, well, then, that will just be the magic I have been waiting for. Well, Corey, you never know. We all live in a world where the impossible is possible. Now come, let us not sit in such sadness. It is a beautiful day, and all of the cove is already entered into meditation waiting for this moment. He had entered a silence that was beyond our greatest imagination. The whole cove lulled in a state of peace and love. It was tangible, and the air around us was set alight with thousands of beings all connecting to each other in this last meditation. We decided to tell this last part of the story together telepathically. for the entire story of yoga lived in each and every one of us. Come, Corey. Sit down at the base of Baobab and close your eyes. Begin to be aware of all the silence around you and your presence and connection to it. Gently drop out of your mind and into awareness. Take 10 pause breaths. Inhale, expand the belly, pause. Expand the chest, pause. Fill your head and hold. Hold the air and energy in your head or solar plexus with relaxation. And then exhale to your shoulders, pause. Release the chest, pause. And then release the belly to finish the exhale. From there, engage in 10 yogi breaths and then follow your natural breath and just listen. It is in this silence that you will hear us. I left him under the tree and flew onto the branch above him and closed my eyes. The last stage of meditation starts with your breath and ends with your pineal gland located deep in the middle of your brain where the two halves meet. This master gland is shaped like a pine cone and is as small as a grain of rice. It is your light monitor. It sends information about light through your eyes to your hormonal centers. It has numerous important functions for the human form, but in yoga it is most well known as the conduit to all the information that lays in the infinite space we call the universe. It is your antenna. In yoga, it is known as your third eye and is located behind your Ajna chakra, the chakra associated with light and illumination, your sixth sense. Its mantra is Om. Through this antenna, you are able to connect with the cosmic world without the filters of your past or your judgments. It is here that you engage in imagination and visualization. When you tap into this gland, this chakra, you see the world with awareness and open eyes. You are open to the unknown and you gain knowledge from beyond your senses. When this gland is calcified and shriveled and the chakra imbalanced, you feel blocked as if you are wading through a thick frog. Only now is the Western world starting to appreciate what ancient traditions have known all along about the power of the pineal gland to connect. For Buddhists, the pineal is a symbol of spiritual awakening. In Hinduism, the pineal is the seat of intuition and clairvoyance. For Taoists, the pineal is the mind's eye or heavenly eye. In ancient Egypt, there are numerous references to the third eye in the pineal region. And yes, even in the Bible it is stated, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light." The pineal gland is called an eye because when you cut the gland in half, the interior lining resembles the rods and cones found in the retina and has retinal tissue in it. How the ancients knew this without scanning machines is magical. In fact, the more technology humans have invented, the greater the distance you have created between your body, mind, and soul. Did you know, human, that your form is actually a supercomputer? With ability way beyond today's technology that has been made redundant by technology. It's nuts, really. To activate the pineal gland is no easy feat, and doing so can actually harm you. Think of how often you have heard of some human having a bad trip from taking a drug that activated the pineal gland and led them to a place they did not want to go, into themselves. In the past, humans had healers, gurus, and shamans to guide you through this journey. But modern medicine and witch hunts have sought to eradicate and discredit them. This leaves you to navigate yourselves through a journey that is by no means simple and can create more harm than good if done without a teacher or a healer. The pineal gland is a neoendocrine transducer, which means it secretes a hormone when stimulated. The minute you open your eyes and allow light to enter, this gland starts to produce serotonin, a feel-good neurotransmitter. At the same time as it does this, it moves your brain waves from delta to theta to alpha to beta, to cause you to once again realize you are in a physical body in space and time. When your brain is firing in beta brain waves, you put much more attention on your outer environment, your body, and on time. When night falls and it gets dark, an inverse process occurs. The inhibition of light sends a signal along the same route back to the pineal gland, which transmutes serotonin into melatonin. This slows down your brain waves from beta to alpha and makes you sleepy, tired, and less likely to want to think or analyze anything. As this happens, your attention shifts to your inner world rather than your outer world. Eventually, as your body falls asleep and goes into a catatonic state, your brain waves move from alpha to theta to delta to induce periods of dreaming as well as deep restorative sleep. As a transducer, the pineal gland can also send and receive energetic signals from wavelengths existing in the universe, many of which actually resemble human brain waves, especially theta and delta. Therefore, when you meditate, what you are in fact doing is exerting mechanical pressure on the pineal gland through breath to create an electrical charge to turn the pineal gland into an antenna. This antenna in humans, however, best works when melatonin levels are at their highest between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning darkness. As a side note, did you know that the M in Om is held the longest because it is a vibration that serves to activate the pineal gland? Fascinating. When the pineal gland is activated through breath, sound, and chanting, the brain has an orgasm, and melatonin transmutes into a chemical called benzodiazepine. This is the same drug group from which Valium is produced. In this state, your thinking brain, especially your emotional survival center, the amygdala, is disabled to inhibit the influence of your emotions and thoughts. From then onwards, if you can sit in this meditative state for a longer period, your frequency will begin to increase. As it does, more transmutions of melatonin will occur and start to bring your body into hibernation. As this happens, all your systems slow down and more energy is freed for the meditative process. The next step is to release of a powerful electric charge until finally you get to the chemical known as DMT, better known to you as ayahuasca. It is here that you begin your communication with the quantum space where the unknown finally becomes the known. Now, Corey, if you never reach that stage, understand that every time you meditate, you create new neural pathways that not only open you up to new experiences and realities, but also move you further away from anxiety, depression, and any other popular labels for mental agitators. Now that you understand the mechanics a little better, let us get back to the last stages of meditation. You will know when you have transitioned from pratyahara to the beginning of meditation, dhyana, because you have lost all sense of time and space and even your own body. When the focus between you and the object you are focusing on remains continuous and unbroken by your senses and thoughts, you will have moved into dhyana. In this stage, 1 hour will feel as if it was merely 5 minutes. As you move back into your waking state, you will have little sense of where you are. In your meditation, you will have lost all connection to your senses. And there are other signs that you have reached this stage, such as feeling lightness in the body, visions of beauty or light, or hearing such sounds as the ocean and bells. These are just some examples, but rest assured you will know when you have seen or heard it. The last stage of meditation is samadhi, when you, the observer, becomes absorbed into that which you are observing. Samadhi is where all forms dissipate and there is no separation, just oneness. Here, you, the meditator, will reach a full understanding of your true self and universal consciousness. In doing so, you will have achieved full knowledge of the universe and existence. But even here, there are stages. We will only briefly summarize them as they are too large and would require a separate meditation to impart all the knowledge. Now, human, Remember that the mind starts out by meditating on such gross objects as candles, and then slowly on subtler objects like the vision of a lotus flower. When the mind can absorb itself into the object of meditation and understand and know its true energetic essence, down to its simplest particle, then you will have entered Svatikra meditation. Here you will gain mastery over the inner workings and secrets of matter, and thereby gain mastery and power over them. You know all those evil villains in superhero comics that have superpowers? Well, they are all meditators who have gained mastery over matter and energy but lack a moral foundation. This stage of meditation can be very harmful when achieved by someone who has not yet cleansed their mind. The second stage of samadhi is where you rise above time and space and can contemplate on the subtle without the aid of a gross object. For example, you can contemplate on love or the color red and understand them fully as they are, and not as defined by the conditioned mind. Here, you are able to give rise to thought while keeping the mind still. Here, you are aware that you are a form of energy meditating on a higher consciousness. In the third stage, Sa Ananda Samadhi, there are no thoughts, no reflections, no reasonings. The intellect is no longer present and the mind is in a complete state of tranquility. All that is felt is joy and bliss. Lastly is Sa Asmita Samadhi, the place where there is no I-ness. Here the soul merges with Purusha, the individual soul with the universal consciousness. In this stage there are still some skaras sitting in the consciousness in seed form. In all four of these stages, the seeds of samskaras are yet to be fully burnt. Hence, they are still susceptible to germination and give rise to disturbances and tendencies in the waking state. Once you have reached the stage where the seeds remain as they never really vanish, but are unable to germinate no matter how much you water them, then you have attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where there is no more selflessness, no more I want, just true liberation. Here, the human is completely unaffected by the form. These humans are known as Jivamuktas. They live and move among you humans. They look like you, but unlike you, they are completely sattvic in nature. Human. You may not reach this final stage in this lifetime. It is a long and dedicated journey, but that is okay. You can still live a life of purpose and joy by achieving the lower states of meditation and engaging in yamas, niyamas, asanas, and pranayama. There is no need to denounce living in the human society. You can continue living your life, but now you will live it from a place of contentment, peace, and awareness. That alone makes the practice of yoga worthy. With that, we have come to the end of our journey. There is nothing more left for us to say to you. We have given you the tools to create change. The choice is now yours. If you don't believe us, then all you have to do is try and see for yourself. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. All we ask is that you start the journey and follow it to give it time to work its magic. We ask you to not give up so easily and to choose you, to choose us, to choose a life of love, kindness, compassion, and sharing over one of fear, anxiety, suffering, and chaos. Because our fate, the fate of your species as well as our own fate, rests in you.